architect and urban planner, and I head the space design department here at Anant University. We have a core team of half a dozen faculty plus another dozen visiting faculty. So around 18 to 20 people involved in the space design department. And as you must be aware, it's a 4-year course. The first year is, of course, foundation, and then 3 years of the major space design. At space design, we also offer a minor. I don't know if a lot of you are familiar with the idea of the major and the minor, but we do offer a minor in furniture design. So that is also something that I'll talk about briefly. If at any point any of you have any questions, please feel free to stop me and ask your questions. Okay, do you all see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So what we are looking at when we look at the space design undergraduate program is to cover the entire range of habitable spaces which occur in a enclosed environment. So we will not be teaching you how to design buildings. That is what happens in School of Architecture. But once an enclosure or a structure is available and you can modify it, you can design it in many different ways. You can modify the interior space. That is what we are trying to achieve here, as opposed to a regular interior design course where one only looks at the interiors of buildings. We also look at interiors of other spaces that can be designed. For example, you could do an exhibition setup in a convention hall, or you could do experience design or an event design, whether indoor, outdoor. You could also look at things like transportation modules, like designing the interior of a caravan or a bus, or modifying the interiors of a yacht or a ship, redesigning the interiors of a train or a metro coach. So all these parts are something that we explore and we encourage our students to look at, not merely interior designs of buildings. That is, of course, something that comes from the choice of the students and their interest, but we try and expose them a lot. So essentially, we look at all kinds of spaces, and whatever the purpose, whatever the duration, some spaces may be occupied for a short time, some may be occupied for a long time, and you can do all sorts of things in all these spaces. So we do not restrict ourselves that you will only design cafes or houses or hospitals or schools. We have specifically and deliberately left it open, and that's why we call ourselves space design. These are just some examples where we talk about, some of our students have even done shelters for construction sites. A lot of labor colonies are very badly designed. Somebody also did something for earthquake camps, how you can, design and install a camp or a shelter for flood victims or earthquake victims very quickly. So a lot of those things are happening. Virtual environments is also something that a lot of our students are now interested in. So there are these gaming environments. So the game happens, but all the environment around it still needs to be designed. So that is something that some people work on. Essentially, if you categorize it in terms of what we teach you, it's basically design thinking, then equipping you with the necessary skills, and then most importantly, encouraging you to explore. So these are the three broad categories of what we like to do in our program. And of course, there are lots of subjects and courses, and you can study this in detail later on. But essentially, we look at a little bit of theory subjects, a little bit of skill development and technical understanding, a little bit of research and history, and then how you combine all this and apply to your design studio. That is the main project. That is the main subject every semester. We also have the idea of minor. So you do a major in space design, but you can also do a minor in healthcare design, or minor in fashion, or minor in fashion design, furniture design. So there are lots of these minors available, or you can do electives depending on your area of interest. So that is something that you can pursue on your own. I put together just some examples instead of giving you names of courses and credits. Very quickly, I'm going to show you some of the work. Again, this is a very small sample, but just to kind of convey to you that here is an example where one student worked in a heritage site in an old building in Mandu and designed an exhibition and a art crafts fair. Then somebody worked with an existing building and converted into a e-games arena. This was a corporate office based on the idea of fluidity. Then here's a project which deals with cubes and designing an exhibition space. So all the exhibits and everything is taken care of here. This one again is an immersive tourist experience on the banks of the Narmada River, where she has taken the help of holographic projections and designed the whole experience that you get when you go out into the boat to multiple points, and the whole history of the place is experienced through projections. This is an exhibit design. This is again in an old monument, but repurposed and renovated for a Baithak, a music performance. This is something that I was talking about. A student took up the space inside a bus and modified it as a residential and working space. We also offer the minor of furniture design, which I was just mentioning. And this is a very hands-on course and very interesting because you get to do things with your own hands and build your own furniture. These are just some examples of furniture made out of wood and bamboo. But we have a great lab here, the maker space. So I'm sure people who want to work with their hands will enjoy it a lot. It also helps as a space designer to know a little bit of furniture design because they go hand in hand. So that definitely gives you the edge when you go out into the industry, knowing something about furniture design along with space design. Along with your academic journey, we're also constantly trying to encourage our students to do things, whether it is study trips that we have every winter almost, where you go out to a place and study its culture, buildings, architecture, interiors, food, their whole lifestyle. So there are lots of these study trips that we do. And of course, we document a lot of it and exhibit it after we come back. So it's not just a lot of fun, but a little bit of work also. And on campus throughout the year, we have these workshops where you can make things. Artists and craftsmen from all across the country come here for a week or 2-3 days and teach us things. Then there is the option of there are these summer school programs, which are of course self-sponsored, so you have to pay for it additionally. But we help in organizing and arranging the logistics of it. This is 10 days or 2 weeks of going to some of these cities and working there, studying there. So that is an option. In our course, as part of a curriculum, we don't have internship or office training, but we do promote short-term internships that you can do in your summer break. So we have a database of some design firms who are looking for interns, and we help you connect with them. We also encourage a lot of research work and reading and writing in the field of design, especially space design. There have been several students who have got their work published in journals and magazines and even books. So that is something that we are very proud of, and we'd like some of you to take that up. And in semester 8, which is the last semester, it all comes together and culminates in the form of a capstone studio or a capstone project, which means that everything that you have learned in the 7 semesters of space design is demonstrated through a live project of your own choice. You can choose the site and you can choose the project, and you just do that one project in the whole semester. So it is like the graduation project and very important for you in your portfolio. That's something that a lot of students lay emphasis on. Once you have graduated, there are of course multiple options. The first one being hired in conventional firms like interior architects, architectural firms, or product design firms, furniture design firms. These are some of the famous firms in India and in Ahmedabad and Mumbai where our alumni are currently working. We have people coming in from lots of small towns and cities of Gujarat and Maharashtra, and even there they have gone back and done some great work. You can also start your own firm. This is one example of a graduate immediately after leaving college. She and her sister got together and set up their own firm in a small town in Kutch. So that is also a great opportunity available to you. Obviously, a lot of people study further and go abroad for masters. There are lots of verticals that open up as a space designer, which you can pursue, whether it is lighting design, luxury retail, product design, furniture design. Lots of these things can be taken up after getting a major in space design. These are some of our faculty members. We have a lot more. And once you are on campus, I'm sure you'd love to meet them and talk to them. And I'd like to end by just talking about what we expect from you. So some of the students, sometimes we do hear that they think architecture or product design is too difficult, and therefore I would like to do space design. Well, if that is the approach, then you will have to rethink, because here also we have a lot of effort and hard work that is expected. So if you're passionate about it, if you can work hard, then we would love to have you here. But we also feel that it's something that should express your own identity. So we want you to be you and be the designer that you are and express your personality through your design projects. So that is something that all of us here in the faculty pool are constantly trying to do, that whatever project you do or whatever assignment that you do, you are creative and individualistic about it, and not doing it just because everybody is doing, and not doing it the way everybody else is doing it. So I think the last word here is that we want you to be yourself, to be you. And that is of great value for us here at Space Design. So yeah, there's lots of hard work, but it is a struggle, to kind of conceptualize something and to go to the site and to work with people and then to get it implemented. But when it is done, it is very, very, very satisfying and great fun. And I'm sure you will be proud of the work that you do, because spaces take up a lot of our time. We occupy spaces for a lot of, many hours and many days of our lives, as opposed to a product, or as opposed to a apparel, clothes, as opposed to a movie or a poster. So all these things you learn in product design, communication design, fashion design. Spaces are so much more, and they contain all these things. So to design a space is like to be, a master craftsman, and to look at all the different aspects, whether it is color, materials, lighting, visuals, digital, making, cost, technology, air conditioning. There are so many complexities involved in design of a space. So I think it involves a lot of work, but it is an amazingly satisfying experience to, make a space. So I think I will end with that and open it up for questions. Or Abhishek, should we get Samir and Vishwa to talk about their experience?
Yes, sir. So
Okay.
let's first hear from the current students.
So Samir is from our senior most batch. Yes, Samir. Hello.
Yeah, hi. Hello, everyone. So, myself, Samir Gagnani, and I am from fourth year space design. And currently, I'm pursuing my graduation project, which is the last semester of our course. And I would say that my journey in Anantiu has been nothing short of an incredible journey. So over here, we get to explore our creativity in a very collaborative environment. And I would say the program itself is a very hands-on program, and we focus not only on just the hypotheticals but also on the real aspects of the field. As Sangram sir said, we follow the process and understand how it will be executed in real world right till the end. So we understand not in just in terms of theory but also in the practicals. uh, I would also like to say that the group of students over here, that's very diverse. We get students from, as sir said, all over the country, and it's not just limited to a certain set of people. You get to understand how different people think, and you uh, learn how to develop your communication and collaboration skills. And I would like to end by saying that space design as a field requires that time, effort, and hard work, right? As sir rightly said. But once you start enjoying it, it becomes very easy, and the outcome is very fulfilling. So I would say that the process might be hard, but the outcome is very satisfying. Thank you. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Samir. If any of you have any questions for Samir, please feel free to ask.
Amir, if you can
Sure, sir.
throw some light on campus life as well.
Yeah, so currently I am living in the hostel on the campus. So we have an in-house hostel. So basically, our campus itself has the hostel building attached to it. So the as you all know, hostel life is one of the best years of your life, and we do, as I said, we have people from all over the country, and you do make friends from. So currently, one of my best friends are from South India and North India, and I belong to Gujarat. So you get that diverse set of people, and you make that lifelong friendship. The campus itself has so many amenities that most of the time we are there right on the campus itself, and we rarely go out and understand what the life of a student is in the college life. So that's very good.
So adding to what Samir said,
Yeah.
let me just put it in figures. So we have students from 21 states of India, and we have not only India, we have students from Middle East. So that so from Dubai, Muscat, Sharjah. This year we have an applicant from Indonesia as well.
Yes.
Vishwa, if you can share your experience of space design and
Yes, Vishwa is from a junior batch, one batch junior to
Uh,
senior.
yes, so I'm Vishwa and I'm from third year space design, and my minor is furniture design. So I think it's very clear that both of them go very hand in hand, furniture and space, and it quite helps a lot for me to kind of decide uh, furniture in my spaces because it is how it has been. So at Anand, I think at each semester you have different kind of projects and you take up different kind of spaces for your projects, and they offer a very wide range and the flexibility to choose your own kind of project. They have a very multidisciplinary approach, so even with electives you could choose different kind of electives which particularly do not belong to space or furniture, but they could be taken up from graphic or some other field as well. uh, uh, Space design offers a lot of insight into designing based on client requirements, how the user would approach the space. We focus a lot on details, the colors, aesthetics, the functioning of the space, especially, which should serve a purpose. So, I think the clear difference between creating a space and incorporating a space into something is taught at Anand. And that is something that I am very grateful for. So it's a lot of hands-on and practical learning, and it's not just confined to interior spaces, but also environmental spaces, exhibition designs, set designs, installations. So it offers a very wide range of things that you could explore and you can learn in your bachelor's and your learning years.
Yeah, it's an interesting point, Vishwa, that if you find some interest during your undergrad, you can definitely carry it forward to your master's.
Yeah, and also at campus we have a lot of amenities. We could use the maker space where there are huge machines where you can work with wood, steel, metal, all of the things. We have library, learning commons, and we have events on campus, which kind of brings a life and culture to the campus itself. So I think it's very interesting, the campus life as well.
Great.
I think.
Yes. Thank you, Vishwa.
Thank you, Vishwa. Sir, the first question,
Yes.
can we expect placement from Anand in space design?
Yes, there is a placement cell which works here to help students. Very recently, I was told yesterday, before yesterday, a couple of students did some interviews with furniture designers, and they are very optimistic about it. But with space design, like with architecture, it also works in a way that it's mostly the students who prefer the firms rather than the firms coming and picking up the students, because you may not be aware of it right now, but usually students like somebody's work, a firm or a person's work and their style, and then they make a portfolio and apply to that firm. So it's almost like the students have to go and pick up the firms. But yes, placement fairs and sessions are constantly going on, and we have a dedicated team to help you with that.
Sir, I think one of our student in the previous year got placement at Homeland also.
Yes, yes, hopefully.
What stationery do we need to bring?
We'll give you a proper list of that, so don't worry about
You'll
it.
get a list of stationery that you need to bring in.
But it is just regular stuff that you may have bought when you were doing your coaching classes or art classes. So that and we have an on-campus store as well.
Yeah.
So that should not be difficult.
Sir, what salary do you expect from a space designer?
It varies. Like it varies depending on what you are, how good you are, the kind of work that you do. So there is no figure that I can give you. You may get 20,000 or you may get 2 lakh, or, it just, if it is totally dependent on the kind of firm that you apply and what is your capability and what kind of responsibility you are willing to take on.
So even in space design, what section you are taking in, that also decides.
Correct. So suppose if you're going to work with some sort of exhibition designer, the package will be very different. If you're doing with an architect, it may be very different. If you're in Bombay, it may be different. If you're in Baroda, it may be very different.
Right.
So, but I would say, I know packages are important, but do whatever you do because you like to do it. So if it's a product or fashion or commerce or arts, go for a line in which you are really interested. If you start thinking about the package from day one, I don't think you will enjoy the process so much.
Just to add to that, our career services office has kept a threshold of 4 LPA, 4 lakh per annum. So we are not entertaining any company to come for placements before that package. So that is one thing. If you talk about last year, the overall placements, which includes space design, interaction design, and product design. So the highest package offered was 12 with an average of 5.5. So, but as sir rightly said, that it completely depend on students and which specialization you're taking in, and in that specialization also which particular point you are focusing on. So that is also very important.
Something I can add is that this field, like architecture, stays relevant throughout. So things like maybe finance, or sometimes pharma, or sometimes biotech, or sometimes data analytics, these go and come as trends. But people always have to live somewhere, they have to work somewhere, they need hospitals, they need buses, they need restaurants. So spaces are always going to be needed, and you are always going to renovate the spaces. Houses also, you can tend to renovate after 10-15 years. So the need to alter and design spaces is going to be constant and universal throughout the world. So thereby there will never be a lack of demand, whatever specialization in space you choose, whether you're just focusing on hospitals or you're focusing on event design or set design, you will always have the opportunity, because fundamentally it is a demand driven field.
Where can students brainstorm and develop their own ideas to stand out different, sir?
You mean on campus, as where?
Disha, if you can clear this point. So Disha Bhavsar has written this question. Where can students brainstorm and develop their own ideas to stand out different?
Well, we hope that you can do it everywhere, because that is what the whole campus aims to do. But we have lots of interesting places where you can do it. And in fact, Samir, who is here, is actually working on a capstone project which talks about informal interactive spaces where students amongst themselves and students and faculty can get together and discuss their design issues. So we have a very vibrant campus with lots of interesting spaces. So usually, if that is what you are asking, if that the physical space is what you were questioning about.
Another question by Ishika. What considerations or planning we do need in space
Well,
interior design?
lots of consideration, Ishika, and that is why we are here, and that is why you will need 4 years, 3 years with us and 1 year in foundation. So please come, and then we will teach you everything that you need to do.
So there is a question by Srinidhi on scholarship, which I will
Yes.
answer. Srinidhi, we are not offering any merit-based scholarship at this point of time, but what we are offering is a need-based financial aid, the form for which is open in your portal from where you have seen your admission offer letter. If you want, you can connect to me. I'm sharing my direct number for more details on financial aid. Though my number is also available on the mail which you have received. Okay, going to next question. In your point of view, which course is best, like product or space?
Both are great. It depends on your interest. Like I said,
Exactly.
product is very detail oriented and you are designing one product or a couple of products. Space looks at the entire environment of which that product is a part. So we have some designers, space designers, who actually design products inside their space. So if I have to design a space, I will design the table, the chair, the lighting fixture, and the sofa. So all those are products. But the product designer cannot design the space. As a space designer, I can design products, but it is not vice versa. So that way, I think I would love to be a space designer more than a product designer. But again, it's totally your choice. And that's why we have all these design courses running together. So you get exposure to all of that.
So that's why the foundation year comes in, wherein in the second semester, you get to know about each and every specialization that we are offering, so that you have an understanding of each and every specialization that we are offering. And based on your skill set and the skill set required by that particular specialization, you can match up, you can take help of your seniors, you can take help of the faculties, and then you can take a call on which specialization would be a great fit for you. Sir, one question, are there tie-ups with international design schools for?
Yes, we are in the process of setting up exchange programs wherein there's something going on with college in Portugal and something with Boston. It is still not finalized, but it is in progress, wherein you will do one semester there instead of doing it here. And similarly, their students will do one semester here.
I think yesterday when we had, on Saturday, when we had a session on sustainable fashion and textile, if you have attended, we have discussed that the students of SFTD, Sustainable Fashion and Textile Design students, they would be going to Siena, Italy for their international exchange. So similarly, every specialization now we are getting this international tie-ups. for the exchanges. So Disha has added to her previous question, sir. So before starting any project, we need a strong concept. So how to get those ideas? So I think this is related to the brainstorming
Correct.
question Disha
So
had earlier.
Disha, it is we try and encourage each student to develop their own process. So you may have a different process, and I may have a different process of generating concepts or ideas. But some people may do it by sketching a lot. Some people may do it by making some models, or some people, just walk in the garden and get ideas. So that is a very personal thing. But yes, we do a series of exercises and try and inculcate a process or a series of skill sets that can catalyze this process. I cannot make you get ideas, but I can make you make the process easier and faster for you by a series of exercises that we recommend. So that is something that is very important. It's an interesting point that you mentioned, but yes, we have every studio, we have a series of exercises which are focused just on that.
Is doing masters in interior after 4 years or bachelor's worth it?
Yes, if you are wanting to pursue specialized, so like I said, somebody then after doing space design wants to follow up with focusing just on design of luxury boutiques, or somebody just wants to specialize in healthcare hospital design. So there are masters which focus on that, and with an additional 1.5 to 2 years, you can become an expert in that. And I think it is very valuable to have that kind of specialization. Yes.
Sir, do we have any cap on number of seats for space design?
No, we don't.
So Devjit is asking how similar is space and interior?
Yes, so probably Devjit, you may have missed the earlier part. It is very
Yes, he
similar.
joined late.
It is very similar, but we go beyond just interior architecture or interior design and look at all sorts of spaces. So for example, it could be a set design, it could be an event design, it could be an exhibition design, it could be the virtual environment of a game design. So anything that is a real or a virtual space and needs to be designed. For example, the interiors of a school bus, or the extension to your home, or village school. Even that is a space. Even if it happens in a small rundown building, it is a space and it is very valuable. So how can you redesign that space? All that is part of space design.
Deshna is asking, do the specialization directly start in SEM 3? Yes. The first year is a foundation year. And at the end of first year, means when your second semester ends, is the time when you choose your majors and minors. If you want to opt for minors, so that is the time when you choose your majors and minors. And then the second, third, and fourth year, you study your specialization. Sir, Lipi is asking, is there any particular range of marks we need to obtain during the foundation? Fundamentals she has written, but I think she wanted to write foundation to carry on to the space design.
No, there is no prerequisite that you have to be at a certain level. It is pure. If you have passed foundation, then it is purely your choice. There is no limit.
Gauri wants to know, is there any technical part like softwares which the student learn in the space design specialization?
Yes, there are lots of software that students should know. Unfortunately, there is so much to teach that we cannot include it in the curriculum. So the students pick it up gradually during the breaks or by doing some sessions outside. AutoCAD, SketchUp, these are definitely two important software that you should pick up after foundation or after semester 3, sometime around semester 4 during the breaks. We would love to do it on campus. We do organize workshops sometimes, but there is so much in the curriculum and we have very limited time, just 3 years, 6 semesters. So unfortunately, we don't conduct these sessions as part of the curriculum, but yes, AutoCAD and SketchUp are very valuable to know.
So I would request Samir or Vishwa if they can share how they learned these softwares during their journey till now.
Yeah, so as sir said, so while uh, continuing with our studios, we are encouraged to understand and practice these software. So as sir rightly said, AutoCAD and SketchUp, these are the two primary softwares that are currently being used. And as we move on, we even in our summer breaks during our vacation time, we do practice. And I personally currently saw a lot of YouTube videos and did some practice. So I tried to use these softwares in my previous studio project. So this not only adds to my portfolio, but it also helps me practice these kind of softwares.
I would also like to add that we do a lot of peer learning too. So if I know something that the other person wouldn't, we would like interact and try to give my part of the knowledge to the other person, and the other person would do the same. So it's more of learning from your peers as well, from YouTube, from social medias, from other artists who have different kinds of practices. So I think, yeah.
Okay. Sir, there is a very, I would say, very good question. Uh, so as of my knowledge, many people prefer that their architect to do the designing part as well. So what about the designers that have studied design for 4 years?
Yes, so I'm assuming you're talking about the difference between an interior architect or interior designer and architect who has done undergraduate in architecture.
Right.
So yes, there are lots of firms, architecture firms, who do the project in totality, right from scratch to finishing everything. But there are actually more firms who give that job to an expert who specializes in interior spaces, because the level of detailing and the selection of materials, finishes, the kind of colors and moods and palettes that an interior architect or interior designer generates are very different from what an architect is trained to do. So the architect usually looks at the overall system, the building, the structure, the services, things of how it will be run, how it will be operated. But the look and feel is something that is in the hands of the space designer, the interior designer. Of course, they have to be in sync and they have to meet and talk to each other. But more and more, especially for large projects, people are dividing this responsibility. Sometimes it also happens that clients want just the architect to do everything, but by the time they finish the building, they don't like it so much. And that's where the interior designer comes in and kind of sorts out and gives them different options. So yeah, that is something that happens a lot in the commercial situation.
Sir, Disha wants to know what are the must-have key skills to ace in space design?
There is no must-have things. If you are passionate and if you're hardworking, then you will definitely ace, not just space design, but any design. You will have to be creative, of course, but more than that, you will have to follow it up with a lot of passion and hard work. Just having ideas will not suffice. You have to put in that effort. So if you can put in effort and if you are creative, there is no stopping you.
So Parth wants to know, so like from now onward, there is
Hmm.
around 80, 85 days they have before they join. So what they can learn during this period, this vacation period, that will help them when they're here.
Well, I'm assuming that you will prepare for the entrance exam, and I think that is enough. Beyond that, I don't think you should be bothered about space design and prepare it even before you give the entrance exam. So just do what you're doing right now, do that properly, have fun, sleep a lot, eat a lot, and prepare for your entrance exams. Otherwise, don't worry about space design right away. It's still some time to go.
So we will be starting the sessions from 10th of July, which is also mentioned in the admission letters that we have sent you. So 10 July, you have to be, so before 10 July, you have to be in Ahmedabad at the campus. Is doing masters in foreign worth it?
Oh, difficult question, Hetvi. Yeah, I personally think it's great, not because they teach you anything better, but it's a good excuse to travel the world. and there is nothing better in life than traveling. So yeah, if your parents can afford it, then by all means you should do masters abroad.
Any more questions? Anyone? You can also unmute and ask the question.
No, Kutubuddin. In fact, Asia is a developing economy. So I would say in the next 10 years, we will need more designers here, space designers in India, China, Singapore. All the Asian economies are growing at a faster rate. So you will need more of them here. But yes, there will be some demand there also.
I think there's a huge demand supply gap in India itself.
Hmm.
If we combine all the different design
Yeah.
disciplines, there's a huge demand supply gap.
There is a huge move towards urban areas. Then more than half the country will be urbanized in the next 20 years. So that is going to be a massive demand.
Any other questions? What is the future of space design? So I think it is similar to what you just answered, sir.
Yes, yes.
Let me check if I've missed any question.
There is one by Kirti. It says, "What is entrance exam?" I mean, have they already given the exam?
Yes, sir. They have given, they have interviewed, and they have been offered
Okay, okay.
admission, sir.
So you've already given the entrance exam. Yeah.
Any further questions? No questions?
Yes, Srinidhi, there are exchange programs with universities abroad. They are still in the pipeline, currently being discussed.
I don't see any. Acha. What if we want to change to other course? So, Kriti, I think third semester would be the only time, I think, when you can plan to shift here and there. But after that, it would be very difficult for you to cope up, even if the faculty allow you in the course. Means, for example, you are planning to shift from X to Y. Okay, it's difficult for you, and it would be difficult for faculty also to cover up that part, right, sir?
Yes, correct, absolutely.
So
Yes.
whatever shifting you plan, that can happen only at the starting of third semester.
So you will spend one whole year on campus doing foundation. And at that time, you will be able to see everybody, see what others are doing, talk to students of all the programs, product, communication, fashion, interaction, space, moving image, go to their studios, see their reviews and juries, see the kind of work that they pin up. That should give you a fair idea of what is good for you and what works for you.
Not a question, but can you suggest any of the good blog or articles or any source where we can know about the current going trends in interior design?
Well, I don't know of a blog, but yeah, you can just type in these keywords, current trends in interior design. I think you will get a lot of this minimalism and contemporary design language going around. But again, those are just trends. So not necessary that is the right or the best thing for all projects at all times. But yeah, you can do a little bit of search.
What if a student creativity skill is good, but sketching skill is not good? I mean, what can I do for
Yeah,
building
so
sketching skills?
sketching is something that will help you express your ideas, but it is not a mandatory thing. One is when you are in foundation, you will be exposed to these courses where you develop these sketching skills. But even if then, if it's not your thing and it doesn't happen, that's okay. The most important thing is ideas and creativity. How you represent them is up to you. If you can't do sketching, you would probably be good at something else, making colorful collages or making drawings, technical drawings, or digital representation, or 3D representation. So there'll always be lots of options you can take up. So not to be kind of tied down just because you're not good at sketching. That should not be an important reason.
Any further questions? We still have around 10 minutes. So the creative is much important than good sketching skills.
Yep. Maybe Samir and Vishwa can log off. They might have work to do. So
Samir, Vishwa, thank you
okay.
so much for
Yeah.
joining in today and sharing your journey at Anand and talking about space design as a specialization. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye. Sir, do we have space design Instagram page as well?
Yes, we do. Can I just quickly share it here?
Yes, sir. You can share the link here, sir. So I would request everyone to uh, like the Instagram page of Space Design so that you get like regular updates on what the students are doing in the projects. And like couple of months back, I think just before the Diwali break, our Space Design students and Interaction Design students had an installation at Gujarat University. And sir, the topic of that space design.
Yes, that was a combined studio that we had with where students of space design and interaction design got together and did one whole studio based on water conservation and sustainability. And it culminated into an experiential installation kind of space made out of bamboo and with lots of digital projections, and lots of games were designed. So they designed actual full-size games where people could participate,
Right.
and it was put up in a public space.
Kriti, if you can elaborate your question. So, sir, Kriti has asked what to expect when you come to university. A great welcome.
Yeah, it's like any university, lots of change, lots of new people.
Yes.
Have you been to campus, Kriti? Maybe first you should visit the
Hostel, yes,
campus.
we do have hostel. No, she has not been to campus yet.
I'm just trying to get the Instagram page. I'll maybe share it with you, Abhishek.
Just a minute, so let me search it.
Somehow I don't know how to do it on the laptop. It's on my phone.
So I got it. I will paste it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
What's the fee structure? Are there any specific dates, time when we come to visit campus? So campus visits are open from Monday to Friday between 10 to 4. And if you're planning on a Saturday, it would be 11 to 4. It would be good if you are informing us in advance so that we can plan it accordingly. Sir, I've shared the space design Instagram handle.
Yes, yes, great, thank you.
No prior permission, but it would be good if you inform us well in advance on which date and approximately what time of the day you are coming in, because every day we are getting 5 to 8 campus tour requests. So we can plan accordingly if you are coming in by informing well in advance. So please, I've shared the Instagram page. Do like and see the projects done by the students.
What happens
Happens in
in
jury.
jury? Yeah, so jury is like the final exam in your studio project. This is where you present your design to a panel of experts, your faculty plus some external experts, and you're given 10 minutes to speak about your design and the whole process, and then they give some feedback. So it's like a final examination. For the studio project, which is 6 to 8 credits, there is no written exam. Some subjects have a written exam like materials or history. Otherwise, it is mostly lots of assignments and visual work, design work. It's not like the exams that you have given so far, writing and writing and writing, or doing sums and stuff like that. It's all about representing your ideas and creativity and your design and presenting it nicely in front of other people. So that is jury. Yes, it does have marks also. No, 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 no. It's there is in if the jury doesn't like your work, they just give you feedback. It is basically to help you understand the process and become a better designer. If you have not worked through the semester, then obviously you are held back, you fail. But if you have worked through the semester, the jury is more of a kind of culmination. Sometimes people fall ill, yeah, or you get an accident. So that doesn't mean that you will fail. You have already worked throughout the semester. Jury is just a presentation of that work. So that it is not that critical. It is important, but only it helps because it helps in your learning and it helps you become a nice presenter, a nice representer, and you can convince people, you can talk, you learn how to talk, and you defend and you argue. So it's all about feedback, not so much about marks. Yes, by personalization, I am assuming you mean specialization or the major. You have to select a major in design from second year, right? That's right. The first year is foundation. After the end of foundation, before you get into semester 3, you have to pick a major, which would be space design, product design, communication design, interaction design, moving image, or sustainable fashion and textile. You have to pick up one of these as a major. So if you go to the Instagram page and you see the 4th and 5th posts, those are examples of the jury. I think the 5th post is about the jury.
So apart from this, if you want to see more on campus life, please like and visit the student life page of Anand National University. So Gauri wants to know what are the other amenities in campus, the labs and other things. So we have maker space. where we have fashion lab, we have textile lab, we have your stations working on wood and metal studio. We have Digilab studio. We have area for working on clay, POP, and ceramics. We have future shift lab, which is very advanced product design lab. So these are things. Then we have library. We have gallery room where all this exhibition of your work or the faculty work of students, when they come back from the RSPs, they showcase their work. Apart from that, we have sports facility for the students. So in hostel, we have gym, we have departmental store, we have canteen. So yeah, a lot of amenities here. We have, sorry, forgot, very important thing. We have stationery shop inside the campus itself. So you don't need to go outside for buying your stationery items. What happens in
Yes, Sharva is asking about foundation. So basically, Sharva, it's to equip all design students with the fundamentals of design and design thinking, and to develop some basic skills, hand skills. So it's a lot of fun. I don't know, if you come to campus and have a look at some of the work that foundation students are doing, that would be the best way to see.
Right.
If you know, you need a lot of information, so the best would be to come sometime.
So with this, sir, let's conclude the session. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing the insights on the
Thank
space
you.
design specialization with this young design aspirants coming to Anantyu. And I hope it was a session where all your doubts related to what is space design is covered. And if in case you have any further queries, you can write to the admissions mail ID is with respect to the space design. I will forward it to sir, and we'll share the answers with you. And how to contact you? Okay, I am sharing my number in the chat. Plus, we have shared POCs with all of you. Everyone present here has a POC, point of contact. There are many students for whom I am the point of contact, or my colleagues, Shilpa, Divya, or Shravan, or Ruchika are the point of contact. So their contact details, their email IDs are already shared with you on your registered mail ID. And yeah, so you can contact for any queries. You can reach out to me for any education loan purpose or the financial aid queries. So I'm the point of contact for all of you for these two queries. So thank you so much. If you have your board exams tomorrow, best of luck. If not in the coming days, again, best of luck to all of you. Thank you once again, Sangram sir, for taking out time today and sharing the details about the space design specialization with the students. Good night, everyone. Thank you for joining me.